Lincoln's essay, at the end he says...
Now, look at these guys are scrapping already, and I just turned the camera on.
You remember this? He said at the end of his famous essay, he talks about how ridiculous Americans are, but even the next morning they wake up and there's still hope.
What did he say is ridiculous about Americans?
Look at our imperialism, our colonialism, the way we treat the American natives, but we've done a lot of bad things, but even in the darkest time there's hope.
Well, how we treat our own citizens.
They do a lot of bad things all over the world. You can't just compare America to America. That's really the trouble with America. They compare America to what they made America in their own mind.
The city on the hill.
The America didn't make America. They made America in their mind. America. No country, no thing is that perfect and marvelous that Jack Armstrong. Black or white, right? Wow. Don't you agree, Senator?
Here's what I agree.
Are you still a senator?
You remember that
place? I didn't bring any cash. You remember got some cash for the senator.
You remember
invisible. They smell it. They know it.
Oh, yeah.
They know how much money they're sitting next to. You know, it's very important at fundraising places.
They know how much is in your wallet and what your credit lines were.
And they can have a wallet feel, a buzz stuff. Yeah. They have a special. Maybe they have an app.
Yeah, there's an app for that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Money app. 20s, 50 times. Oh boy, talk to this guy. He's got.
They remember talking about America. Remember a couple years ago there were two Canadians. They went around America trying to find out what the character of the American
Wayne
was.
and Schuster.
That could have been.
Yeah, I think it was Wayne and Schuster.
But anyway, here's what they found out. Most Americans wanted to be like Thoreau, Emerson, and Whitman. You know, character, loving, compassionate, sense of place, and helping others. But most of them turned out to be like the salesman. They wanted to go out there and make a buck. That's what they turned out to be. But they wanted to be that, you know, Thoreau character, live in the woods, have one with nature.
Too much. America offers you to do too much for that.
Horatio B. Alger.
Connectedness, but they
for
want
us
to make
to
a
give
buck.
birth to a Thoreau in this society today. Because I don't know, poetry and money, there's no relationship at all. Well, economics and poetry have no relationship.
That's why it's pure.
Marriage,
That's
right?
why it's pure. You know, there are some people who do anything for money. They would even write for money. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Somebody writing for money?
That's impossible.
Yeah.
No,
really?
I wrote for money.
Somebody make you write for cash?
I tried to write for money. I tried to write for anything.
One thing that I noticed about Don when I read his interview, one of his greatest moments was...
you read the 50 pages?
Yeah, I read that in the last 2 days.
Isn't that amazing what the guy did?
Yeah, and then also, well, even the pictures and the ads. The one ad that I was really struck with, among others, when you did the Carnegie Hall Memorial to Billie Holiday with all these jazz greats, and there were only one or two comedians. What a blessed night that was, huh?
Oh, it was fun. But I'm so amazed that this man over a telephone can talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes and send you 50 pages of your whole life.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sense of narrative.
That's right.
Well, but you're the goods. You're the gold. He just took it and put it in form.
Oh, just.
Yeah.
What? He just planted the seed in the ground. The tree came up. That's incidental. But if he didn't plant the seed in the ground, there'd be no tree.
You're the seed.
Watered me.
That's great.
Place me in the sun.
Who's the ground?
Maven.
Maven's the ground. Okay.
Maven, for those of you who
check.
may not know, Maven is my lovely wife. We're married 50 years. We had a 50th anniversary party that both these two gentlemen attended.
We were there.
And entertained us and were well.
That was quite the event.
That was quite. And the next 50th anniversary I have, I only could invite one of the two, and I have 50 years to make up my mind. I don't want you to feel bad because now you know the regulations for my second 50th anniversary. You have to have everything you want. If you lasted another 50 years after.
Chiapino?
Lasted another 50 years.
Chiapino?
Chiapino.
Yeah, can I have that? You said you could have anything you want.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. Chiapino's good.
If you lasted another 50 years, he hasn't lasted 50 years. Yes, just like.
I told my wife.
Amateur married people.
Yeah, that's right. We're still practicing.
You don't become a professional until you're 50 years married. You get a stamp.
Yeah.
You're a professional.
Yeah, you get a gold star.
Someone wants advice about marital bliss, they got to talk to a professional.
You're a pro.
They can listen to you people, but they can't take you seriously.
So what is your secret, Don? Is it you or is it Maven?
No, it's just some kind of magical elixir that floats around the atmosphere. And both of you are caught up in the same verse, like a cloud burst. Love forms and that's it. But nobody can manufacture the mist, and nobody can set up the people, and nobody's knows how long it lasts, or why it lasts, or should it last.
It's a miracle.
Yes, it is. You got the word. Oh, it's always have the word. One word, he said what I tried to say.
I also wanted to compliment David on his great interview, the TV Coin and Art, and all of the talk that you did about the Japan in the early 90s.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
art and coin.
How
Yeah.
many paintings you sold?
In yesterday's show?
Oh my goodness,
Well,
yeah.
this was, he put it on the blog.
Oh, in a
You know,
blog.
so I read your interview and I saw his 35-minute interview. I mean, it was
You
amazing.
put all those 50 pages on the blog?
Well, sure.
You just
My
click it on.
God,
there it is. And there's also a photo of you as Morris.
Those people better...
Famous Morris.
Those
Yeah.
people better be in good health to watch our blog.
You're a legend. The
Famous
legend
Morris.
grows.
Yeah.
Legend.
KTLA's man of the year.
I guess the legend is something people talk about. People need something to talk about. So they find something to talk about, and they pass that talk down from generation. Each generation manufactures more out of that thought in that moment.
Well, you remember Bobby Darin.
Yes, sir.
Multiplication is the name of the game, and each generation plays the same.
He wrote a song called "No Distractions" because he couldn't concentrate in Hollywood, so he got himself a beautiful motor vehicle, went to a lonely mountain place, and he set up house there to write music. As he's writing the song, he hears in this remote spot there's a party going on, like a short way down the hill.
You're counting him as a major or minor singer?
Bobby Darin was the
Oh, he's major.
great major singer, unrecognized fully, in spite of his demand about how much recognition he wanted from you.
Yeah.
There still wasn't enough. He was truly a genius.
I like him in that movie, Come September.
Being associated with him and attending those rehearsals was just magnificent, because you saw musicianship. He was priceless. As obnoxious as his personality was, that's how strong his talent had to be.
Oh yeah.
Overcome to make him likable enough to say, yeah, okay, he sings good. And you still wanted to punch him in the mouth. You know?
You didn't.
Well, that's probably what made him good, you know.
But he was complex, and then you find out there were such great reasons for that sadness. One day he got really disarmed from his emotions in my office, and he came crying, and he started telling me what his life was, that his sister was really his mother, and that
It's like Nicholson, huh?
and that he had a condition that the doctor said he's not going to live that long. So there's so much he wanted to say that no matter how fast he made it, it wasn't fast enough, because he has this impending feeling of death so close.
Yeah.
And so he worked so hard, and he was moving fast as anybody could move. It wasn't fast enough. That's why he got this determination and that drive. And he knew. And even when he was in the hospital, the story is that he didn't want no wires. And they had wires, and he woke up and pulled them all out himself. That's how he died.
Didn't he do a movie with McQueen like Hell is for Heroes?
And
Yes, you're
he
correct.
really loved acting too, and he was a good actor. He was
Surprising.
As a person, he was really so talented, and I don't think that gave him joy. The fact that he knew how much talent he had, and he knew how much he had to say, he had such little time to say it, drove him crazy.
Well, if you look at Bobby, he had 3 different distinct music careers. His early one, when he was doing songs like Splish Splash, you know, where he was a rock pop singer.
Right.
Then he switched over to a full Frank Sinatra.
Right.
Gave Frankie a real run for his money.
You're darn right.
And then he became a cross between Bob Dylan and Donovan, you know, being a prophetic
Didn't know where to
folk
go.
singer.
Maybe it's height. You know, a lot of those guys like Sinatra and him and the
Diminutive, yeah.
they're short guys.
Short guys, yeah.
And if they have a great voice, they're a short guy. You feel that?
Yeah, they're really overcoming their.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you the last word of a movie and see if you can guess the name of the movie, all right?
Last word of a movie.
Last word.
Shane.
Yeah.
Shane. That would be Shane.
You'll find great knowledge in recall, instant recall, because your repetitory button is very active, but you don't listen to things you say again. You should listen to them very carefully because they indicate a change in the way you say them each time, because that's why you say
I say the same story over and over again.
Well, we have one for you, Harry. Last word of a movie, Rosebud.
Citizen Kane.
Yes.
last word of a movie. Instead of the last word of a word, last word of a movie.
Movie.
Yeah. Can you remember the last word?
Word.
That was spoken in any movie you ever mentioned. You mentioned the last word.
Shane.
Shane was the last word because he was yelling at him. Shane didn't say come back.
Come back, Shane.
Come back. It's not the last word. The last three words.
Shane.
It's hard to remember the last
Stella.
word. So some people play some kind of movie game where you describe the character or the last scene, and if they can remember the scene, you win a certain amount of money. They remember the opening line of an opening scene. If they remember that line, they win $1 million. There's a contest going on now.
Well, here's something which
$1 million.
Yeah,
My good.
I don't know what it is, the first line of a scene of a movie, but the exact thing they say right away.
You reminded me of something when you talked about Bobby Darin, that no distractions. The poet T.S. Eliot talked about our life, and he said it's distractions from distractions from distractions, right?
And how distracted are we now when we look at our media overload? Yeah, I mean, how many messages are we hit with in a day just driving down the street with the billboards, you got the radio on?
Data absorption, you know that the mind is, you gotta get in there, find out how that works. It absorbs an amazing amount of data.
Yeah.
More than a computer actually.
And edits it. I mean, it's editing what it wants, you know?
Advertising. Norman Mailer once talked about if we wouldn't spend all that advertising, things would be much cheaper, right?
Well, sure, the advertising budgets are amazing.
Too much money is involved. How did money get so involved in life? There's just two people, Adam and Eve, a little village, a little blonde, a little apple, a little eating, and all of a sudden there's pollution and traffic and disease and pestilence. How does that happen? What happens? It's just two people, a lot of hills and vales and valleys.
Well, I think really everything went up, right? When we were in New York City, I was in there 63, 68. I could buy my last apartment, $72 for one bedroom, elevated building, 77 in Columbus.
Yes, that's
These days, New York City, probably $2 grand, $3 grand, right?
Are you kidding? They built.
Oh, yeah.
They built the condominium
More than that.
at 17 Central Park West, Central Park South. It's a massive structure. It's incredible. Condos start at $10 million. It was showing something $26 million, $24 million. Condo.
Yeah. And then you add the maintenance every month.
And those people
that's
that bought
outstanding.
it, the minute they bought it, people knocking at the doors. How much you want?
Yeah, we'll take that off your hands.
How much you want? They want to live in there. They want to live in that place. When you see the rooms, they're not rooms. They're like ballrooms those people are living in. I can't. What is the life when this one person walks into a place like this?
It's like Thoreau. Remember, you see a picture of Thoreau, little room, bed, table, a chair. I remember going to a woman's house in Santa Monica, and she had this garage, and she was fixing up. She said, "This is going to be my writing room." And I'm thinking, you can write anywhere. You don't need to have all these external trappings. It's like Picasso said about paint. If I have to prick myself to get blood, if I run out of paint, I'll paint with my blood, right? It comes down to the elemental, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you
so maybe think you have to have all this stuff. They say, where's the meat? Where's the work being published that you're supposed to be writing, right?
Well, you've seen Woody Allen's working space.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny table in his bedroom with a portable typewriter on. That's it.
Could I tell you a Jerry Lewis joke?
The portable type.
Did you see the Jerry Lewis documentary?
Not yet.
See that's better. See now, had you said, did you see the Jerry Lewis documentary? And then we started. Can I tell you something about Jerry Lewis? But you ran right to Jerry Lewis. You saw a lot of the bases and bases.
It is
I fielded a lot of grounders.
Did you steal a lot of bases?
No, I'm not that fast.
You're not a
It is
baseball.
that old style.
Baseball hit.
I thought maybe you'd be
But
one.
here's what Jerry Lewis told a joke as he's older. If you'll forgive me a little vulgarity. A woman comes home and she's real happy, middle-aged couple. So the guy said, "Could you kindly tell me why you're so happy today?" And she said, "My doctor told me I have the breasts of an 18-year-old." And he said, "What did he say about your 45-year-old ass?" And she said, "Your name never came up."
Well structured, well delivered. Not the
Well thought out.
Not the first time. Now
You're the genius comic guy.
Now, if you take your acting ability and put it into the joke,
Oh, I couldn't do that.
be that character, say that.
That's
line
right.
as that character.
Here's a great artist, here's a great comedian,
No,
and here's a man who's a poor actor, a poor poet,
not
and
a
a poor
poor
scholar.
Neither of those things are true.
Well, so what's our word of the day as we come to the end of
Word
our
of the day
show?
is
Hyperbole.
Oh, there you go. Hyperbole. Yeah.
I was gonna use syphilis, but that's
Well, save that for tomorrow.
because it's antiquated. They don't use that anymore. They don't use that anymore.
No, there's some acronym for that.
Save that
SIDS.
for the unclean.
Or STDs. That's what it is. Everything's got an acronym now.
Yeah, so the
So
word is-
hyperbole.
what was that?
Hyperbole.
Excellent. Excellent for this show. Very apropos.
Well, we're going to say goodbye to our times 3 regulars, Don
Adios,
Sherman,
hasta luego.
Harry Northup, and myself, David Glover. David
Thank you,
Lloyd
David.
Glover.
Thank
We
you.
say goodbye.
Spasiba.
Hasta la